All right, guys. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Barbell Calling Podcast. We're going to talk about what to expect when you're what to expect.
Not when you're expecting. Okay?
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's a different show. We're not talking about that
No sleep
right
is what to expect when you're expecting. All right, we're going to talk about the generally the type of person that comes in. Things like what to wear, how much time to take, and what a first visit's like. Fairly easy and quick. So. Is there a type of person that trains it in a starting strength gym?
Yes.
Well,
they're weird.
Everybody's
weird. No, I'm just
it's actually a very, very broad range of people. You'll have liberals, you'll have conservatives, you'll have elderly, you'll have a couple 12, 13-year-olds, right? In some cases. You'll have obviously male, female, broad range of types and demographic.
You're gonna even have full families in here.
Yep. Yep, we have a number of members. We have a number of members who husband and wife trains, and then the kids are in here. Some of the kids are in here as well. God bless them, right? Thank you for understanding the need to get stronger. But there isn't. What you will not see is you will not find people who are doing show prep, who are trying to win a bodybuilding contest. You won't find anybody posing in the mirror.
Wait, we have mirrors?
No, there are no mirrors in
right.
in the starting strength gym. There's a mirror in the bathroom.
Hard to pose in that thing. I mean, you could, I guess, but
no, this is not a meat market type gym. There's not going to be anybody hitting on you, right? If you want to date one of your fellow members, hey, that's on you. You guys figure that out. But those sort of distractions are just generally by themselves kept to a minimum, because people are not in here for that. People are in here. The commonality across all the members are people are training to get stronger because they understand that being stronger either helps them improve some sort of a capability outside the gym or improves their health long term. That is the commonality for members at a starting strength gym.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head on that one. It's just, there's all walks of life in here, guys, and everyone. Ultimately, what you find out is this is a giant family. Everyone is here rooting you on, wanting you to succeed.
Liberals and conservatives getting along.
What? You serious? They can get along? Oh, geez.
Yeah, required to
kidding me.
Yes.
Oh, God. Hell froze over. No, guys, we all get along here. And, we're here for the same thing, and that is to improve our quality of life. We joke around a lot. We have a great time. But we also get stronger at the end of the day. And that's what you got to have. You got to have that. I've had clients come in the past that are just like, well, what if this happens or this happens or this happens? And like, look, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to happen.
What do you mean?
So like if somebody, talks down to you, insults you, makes you feel uncomfortable. No, it doesn't happen. If it does happen, that person's out. They're out. I don't care. This is a zero tolerance thing when it comes to making fun of somebody or putting down somebody for trying to improve themselves. That's not what we do here.
Yeah. What we do is already fairly. It's self-exclusive. You have people that understand, starting from a very, very basic level, and because they started there too, and they've worked their tail off to get to where they're at. So you're going to have people that applaud you for coming in and putting up a fight to work towards being healthier and more capable.
Absolutely. And into that, I always go back to my association with CrossFit. What to wear. In CrossFit, it would be what not to wear. And that's clothes.
Put some clothes on.
Yeah, right. You got half naked people running around. I mean, great. That's what a lot of people want to do. Yeah, I mean, sex sells. Let's be real, okay? But that's not what we do here. That's not our focus. So, what do you need to wear? You need to wear something you can squat down in. The old school wind pants. Everybody, for some reason, those are still around.
Yeah.
The highly flammable ones, like you get too close to the fire and they just gone. Yeah. They need to be gone. They're terrible. Anything that's going to sit there and limit your ability to squat down below parallel, which, by the way, that's going to be where the crease of the hip is below. See if you guys can see
You
this.
big nerd.
Right there.
Sit down.
That right there. If you can't get to this position in your clothing,
so does that mean I can squat in my jeans? Because I can get there in my jeans.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you rip them, not my problem. You're just going to be walking around. I hope you wear drawers.
Comfortable shorts. Let's get this back on track. Comfortable shorts, a cotton t-shirt, preferably cotton t-shirt, so that the bar, when you're lifting, doesn't move around on your back. Comfortable shoes. Well, so let's talk about shoes. You want to train in weightlifting shoes. Do you need your own before you come in? No, it'd be great if you did. We have a number of pair. If you have a size 17 feet, like some of our members, we don't have a pair for you. I'm sorry. Cut your toes off. But weightlifting shoes. So why weightlifting shoes?
All right. So I don't know why I keep throwing this thing down on the ground. Weightlifting shoe. Guys, this is a non-compressible sole. Okay. So it's hard. Your typical running shoe is going to be, or even your knock around shoe.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable. It's going to have a soft, squishy sole. Yeah, that's great. It's great for comfort. It's not good when you are adding weight to your body and you watch that thing squeeze out like a jelly donut. Okay. Yep. It makes an unstable surface and now puts you at risk for hurting yourself.
Yeah. It's like standing on marshmallows while trying to lift weights.
Yeah.
It's not stable.
It's not stable. We don't sell them. We don't make any money off of them, and we don't care. And the reason we don't care is because, look, I don't want to deal with people having to sell shoes, buy shoes, return shoes, all that other crap. I don't want to deal with that.
That being said, check out our Amazon affiliate store.
Terrible.
We should set that up.
We should. But, we do have suggestions on which shoes are better, but we'll talk about that later on. If you want to get started and, or don't want to sit there and spend a whole bunch of money getting started with this, look, you can go to, if you're in Katy, you can go to the Katy Mills Mall. I know that thing's dangerous, but look, you just venture out there during the day hours. Okay. Don't go at dusk. It's terrible, but go in there and go to the Reebok store, go buy you a pair of the Reebok CrossFit shoe. You go to the Nike outlet, get a pair of their shoe. But the CrossFit shoe it's a good start. But if you're going to spend the money on that, you might look at just go ahead and get a weightlifting shoe. The Adidas, the Nikes, the TYR or Tier, those are going to be your best bet. Some of those are more expensive than others, but those three have consistently been the shoes to get. So you got shorts or some kind of stretchy pants, cotton t-shirt, weightlifting shoes.
What about other stuff like weightlifting belt?
We got them.
Wrist wraps.
Not immediately.
Like that. Yeah. And even then, we have those. We do stock a couple of them.
Yeah.
So short of like the clothes that you would wear on your body, you got you covered to get started.
Yeah, you don't need anything else, guys. If you are somebody that is cold, I would recommend something maybe long sleeve.
That's a good point.
Because we do keep this thing, cold enough to hang meat.
It's cold in here.
It's cold.
It feels nice.
It does feel nice.
All right. So what about a first visit, right? What about what should someone expect?
First visit, we're going to go over the squat, the press, and the deadlift. We're going to teach you how to do that stuff. We're going to find appropriate starting weights for you, if it's even weight at all. We're going to figure out these modifications for you, and we're going to set you up on a logbook. We're going to talk to you about a whole bunch of things.
Let's go back over the weight though, because I've had this question a number of times. Like how do we figure out starting weights? Because are we going to work up to a max? Is it going to be heavy? What is talk a little bit about that.
So that's a good point. We are not here to find a 1 rep max on your first day. In fact, that's irrelevant because you don't know the movement. You don't know the movement, or hell, it might have been that you haven't trained in 10 years.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you're like, well, I used to squat 405. Well, we're not attempting that by any means. We're going to find a weight that you can get full range of motion, under control, and keep the form, say 95%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's going to be some slop in there for some more from fatigue than there is weakness.
Yeah, so, we're looking for no weight where there's minimal form breakdown.
Correct. And we need a place that we can start from. So I'm not worried about you going balls to the wall and going as heavy as possible. that first day, because we're going to build from there. Remember, we're talking long-term here. We need a place that we can add weight to. And if we go too heavy that first day, we end up having to take steps back. You're sore as shit. That's not a good thing. We don't want that. Yeah. So we're going to find an appropriate weight. We're going to do 1 to 2 sets at the beginning to get you through this. And one of the things that you always say, and I've started saying it too to everybody, is, guys, this is like the information on that first day is like drinking water through a fire hose. There's so much information we're going to give you. We expect you to remember 10% of it. And every day you come in, you're going to get a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more throughout the process.
That first session is just as much for us as it is for you, because we're working through developing a plan that's specific for you. A lot, the program is generally the same for everybody. Where it differs is the weight, but a lot of the modifications, the cues that this person responds to, the way that they respond to coaching ends up being very, very individual. So that, like, we're picking up on that and then communicating with that after that first session with the rest of the coaches. And two, I'll go back to the weight. Most people are fairly surprised when we say that we're going to be very, very light. They're expecting to go a little bit heavier. They're fairly surprised that at where we end up stopping. A lot of people will say it doesn't really feel like I've done much, but then they're quite, and so which is a good indication for us that, hey, that was a reasonable weight to start at. What we will say, what we do share with members is, you're gonna be quite sore. One, that's also the reason why we don't go heavier, because we don't want you any more sore than what's actually reasonable. But if you continue to train, if you're consistent, then that soreness will last 1, 2, 3 sessions tops. And then as long as you're consistent, you will never be sore like that, right? The goal of the workout is not the soreness. Soreness is not an indication of progress. Soreness is an indication of the novelty of the movement, not of the progress that you're making. So you will be tired, you'll be fatigued, but you won't be sore. Those are two different things.
Yeah, soreness is inflammation. And, a lot of people end up associating that with like a good workout or not. So if you are sore all the time, guys, it's not a good thing. It's not. There's an article wrote about, it's on Starting Strength, about misinflammation, talking specifically about that. So check that out. It's a good article to kind of give you an idea of what you should and shouldn't be doing in it, or, and what we're talking about expecting that first day. The other thing we need to talk about is time. How much time should you expect to spend in here that first day, and then the following workouts?
So the sessions are scheduled, so that the group sessions themselves are scheduled for 90 minutes. That doesn't mean that the workout is going to take that long, especially starting out, but it's scheduled for that amount of time because, starting out, your workout will take, depending on the weights and the, that someone's at, 45, as fast as 45 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. We do 3 sets of 5 for the squats, 3 sets of 5 for the press or the bench press, and then 1 set of 5 for the deadlift plus warm-ups. And those movements in and of themselves don't take very long, but you rest in between sets, and then so that ends up being kind of just call it 50 to 60 minutes. And then when the weight gets heavier, little by little, you start increasing those rest periods to be able to recover. And that's when people start bumping up into this hour and 15, hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes. But starting out, that first session, the first intro session, will be an hour to an hour and 15, because we're going through a lot of the account setup and teaching the lifts, and there's quite a bit of discussion. And then, coming in the next time, I would expect an hour, depends on how long you need to rest between sets, but roughly an hour or so.
Yeah. And it shouldn't, at the beginning, it's not going to take that long, guys. You're not going to need as many warm-ups potentially at the beginning of it. So that cuts out a lot of time. When you start getting stronger and the weights get heavier, you're going to add more warm-ups in there. You're going to need that more longer rest period. The cool thing, though, too, that we got to add in here is that, like, in our gyms, and this is where, like, we go back to the personal training and small group. If you go to personal training, you're stuck there talking to that one person the entire time.
Oh, Lord.
And God, you're going to hear every single story over and over and over again. You sometimes it's a pain in the ass. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just don't want to talk to these people, which is why you switch trainers. But
yeah, you're paying somebody to essentially, half and entertain you half.
Exactly. So I mean, think about that. $75 an hour minimum for somebody to entertain you,
who may be boring as hell.
God, I hope they're good. The cool thing about what we do, and the thing that sets us apart too, is that while you're resting, you are going to be observing other people as they move. You're going to be talking to the other people. So you're going to build that community aspect.
And you're learning from what they're doing.
Right. So when you watch somebody else squat, you can sit there and hear what the coach is saying, giving them the cues and be like, oh, well, you gave me that same cue. Is that the same reason why? You get to ask these questions and you get to learn and develop your knowledge more of the actual movements, what you're doing, what they're doing. And subsequently you end up being
pretty darn good coach.
You end up being a pretty darn good coach.
Yeah. We've got I'm gonna step in and tell Josh a story, but we've got a number of members who've been with us for quite a while and who are quite observant that so there's husband and wife team in particular, where one, they can give pretty good feedback to apprentice coaches about maybe some things that they need to change because they've been at this so long. And then two, we've put them in, we've asked them to kind of keep an eye on a lift just to see how it would go. And, their eye and their evaluation of the movement and corrections are actually pretty darn good for somebody who doesn't coach, because they've been doing this under the supervision of a coach for so long.
I mean, if we could pay them enough, I guarantee they'd probably step in here and there, but we can't afford what they'd be charging. Jesus. But yeah, you learn enough over time while you're doing this. So that 10% that you learn that first day now becomes up to 90%, even 100% of what you should know, so that you can coach on your own. You can lift on your own. Hell, if you want to be a starting strength coach and work for us, I mean, Jesus, you can do that.
We've had a number of members do that. In fact, our our member pool is probably one of the best pipelines for coaches.
Absolutely. Been doing it long enough. They've seen an abundance of people squat. And they've had the same issues that we've all gone through, and they've learned from it. So yeah. So that's what you need to expect when you first come in here, is to not just, coming in and learning the movements, how much time it's going to take, things like that. You can also expect over time that you are going to learn as much as possible, as much as you want from us on the lifts, how to coach them and perform them, so that, when you do go on your own, you have a good base knowledge of it, and your bullshit meter's going to be pretty damn good too. So that's it for this podcast, guys. Please subscribe. This episode, guys, subscribe to the Barbell Calling. Tell your friends, tell your family, pass it on, guys. We're here to help. If you guys have any questions, shoot them our way. We're more than happy to answer that for you. What's our next episode? Oh yeah. About things being hard. Is that right?
Yeah. So this is hard. Why should we push through?
Yeah. And then we're going to talk about why this is hard and why you should push through it. Yeah. Jesus, get your mind out of the gutter. I know you chuckled through that shit. So I don't know where I'm at. It's been a long day. So guys, check us out again on the next podcast. We'll see you soon.